Could it be possible that this was their plan all along? Michael Snyder reports, more than anything else, the elite want a president that's easy to control. That is why they love Joe Biden. That's why they hate Donald Trump. It all comes down to control. No matter what happens, the elite want to feel confident that whoever is in the White House is going to be a team player. So the elite are already excited about the possibility that Kamala Harris could become the next president of the United States. Whenever she makes a public appearance, it's clear that she is in way over her head. And if she actually makes it into the Oval Office, she will be exceedingly easy to manipulate. Now that Joe Biden has dropped out of the race and Kamala Harris has become the presumptive nominee, there's one really big question that we all need to ask. Could it be possible that this was their plan all along? Consider the following facts. Number one, if Joe Biden had announced that he was not running prior to the primaries, Kamala Harris never would have had enough support to become the nominee. There are 5 or 6 prominent Democrats that would have absolutely trounced her. Number two, throughout the first half of 2024, relentless efforts were made to convince everyone that Joe Biden was physically fit and mentally sharp. Were they trying to prop him up just long enough to secure the nomination? Number three, Democrats pushed for a very early presidential debate. Personally, I thought that it was very strange that one would be held in June. When Joe Biden failed miserably, this gave them the perfect opportunity to remove him. Number four, within hours of the announcement that Biden had dropped out, Kamala Harris already had endorsements from most of the top figures in the party, and she was already the presumptive nominee. This was clearly orchestrated well in advance. It appears that way. The last hope that the anyone but Kamala crowd had completely vanished when Gretchen Whitmer formally endorsed Harris. Today, not only am I fired up to endorse Kamala Harris for President of the United States, I'm proud to serve as a co-chair of her campaign. In Vice President Harris, Michigan voters have a candidate they can count on to lower their costs, protect their freedoms, and build an economy that works for working people. Donald Trump is a convicted felon who stokes violence, overturned Roe, and drove our economy to the ground. We cannot let him anywhere near the White House. Vice President Harris, you have my full support. Let's win this. There are some people out there that are still suggesting that Michelle Obama could come swooping in at the last moment and steal the nomination from Harris. It's not going to happen. In fact, I think that the Obamas played a major role in making sure that Harris would be the choice. This is a done deal, and it was executed with ruthless efficiency. One thing that is going to work with very difficult to hide is that the fact that it can be extremely unpleasant to work with Harris. It's been reported that only 5 of the 47 staffers that were working for her in 2021 were still working for her during the early part of 2024. About half of the vice president's staff is paid by the Senate, which requires regular disclosure. Of the 47 Harris staffers listed in 2021, only 5 still work for her as of this spring, according to the disclosures. Like Hillary Clinton, behind the scenes, Harris can be absolutely brutal, and that is one of the reasons a lot of people just don't like her. To me, it appears that the Democrats are committing political suicide. Recent surveys indicate that Harris will perform worse against Donald Trump than Biden would have. Her post-debate polls against Trump relative to Biden have a great deal of variance, ranging from around 8 points worse to 4 points better than how Biden performed. Based on an average of 26 national polls conducted over the past month, Harris trailed Trump by 4.5 points nationally, compared with a smaller 3-point deficit for Biden. Speaking of Biden, where in the world is he? Seriously. The last time we saw Biden, he was slowly disembarking from Air Force One in Dover, Delaware on Wednesday evening. That's a week ago. The public did not see Biden on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, and then he suddenly dropped out of the race on Sunday. Biden's decision to drop out came on the 4th day of sequestration at his home in Delaware, where he's been isolated while recovering from COVID. The president was initially joined by just a small group of aides, and he has spent the entire period out of public view. Many thought that it was really odd that Biden would drop out of the race without making any sort of speech. One of those that is asking questions about Biden's status is journalist Glenn Greenwald. Journalist Glenn Greenwald, an anti-Biden left-winger, posted on social media site deeming it strange and wrong that Biden has yet to give a televised announcement. I don't endorse Biden conspiracies, but still it's strange and wrong that Biden has not spoken given the historic magnitude of his announcement, Greenwald said. Having a president drop out by tweet and then disappear is bizarre. If he's well enough to decide, then he's well enough to speak. At such a historic moment, why could not Biden even say just a few words? Something is not right. There are some that are suggesting that Biden may not have even signed the letter that declared that he was dropping out. Speculation has since started to grow, with conspiracy theorists poring over its authenticity, with some believing he never actually signed the letter himself. His signature on the letter shared on Sunday's show his name being underlined, which according to some commentators he has never done before. Billionaire Bill Ackman has been one of those sharing the theory online, frequently reposting different takes on his signature to his X profile. When asked about how Biden is doing, the White House insisted that he has almost fully recovered from his recent illness. President Joe Biden's COVID-19 symptoms nearly cleared up 5 days after he was diagnosed with the virus for the third time, according to White House physician Kevin O'Connor. The latest information on Biden's condition comes amid speculation and conspiracies running amok online that the president is either more sick than is being shared or is incapacitated or even deceased. His symptoms have almost resolved completely, O'Connor wrote in the latest update on Biden's recovery. If this is true, then why have we not seen Biden by now? Frank Biden fueled speculation that something might be seriously wrong when he told CBC that Joe Biden's health played a considerable role in the decision to drop out of the race, and that he was looking forward to spending whatever time, quote, whatever time we have left, end quote, with his brother. Frank Biden said to CBS that he was selfishly glad to have Joe Biden back for whatever time we have left, and then when he was asked if health factored into his brother's decision to step aside from the race, he said, absolutely, his health played a considerable role in his decision. Whatever time we have left sounds ominous. Is that just a recognition that he's 81, or is that a hint of something more that we are not being told? Whatever time we have left, that sounds rather ominous. And according to the White House schedule that was released on Monday, there are no public events scheduled for Joe Biden this week at all. President Joe Biden will hold no public events at all to explain why he stepped aside, according to White House schedule released Monday. The lack of a public appearance will increase concerns about Biden's health. Many commentators believe that Biden's lack of public appearance to announce his decision will fuel calls for him to resign from the presidency, citing fears that he is not able to run the executive branch. It's becoming clear that we are not being told the whole story. Of course, that is the way that they sometimes operate. Ultimately, we could end up with Kamala Harris in the White House just as the most chaotic chapters in our entire history come crashing down upon us. And that is a thought that should chill all of us to the core. And this is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. This is by Michael Snyder. About the author, Michael Snyder's extremely controversial new book entitled Chaos is available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News. And he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.